The defining convenience appliance of the 20th century American kitchen was invented by a strict religious communion that explicitly banned private kitchens. The story begins in 18th century Germany with the Community of True Inspiration. They were radical Pietists, a Christian movement prioritizing intense, personal religious experiences over formal church doctrine, who spent decades fleeing persecution by the state government and the Lutheran Church. Seeking total isolation, the community migrated to the American Midwest in the 1850s. They purchased 26,000 acres in the Iowa River Valley and constructed a closed geographic loop of 7 independent villages known as the Amana Colonies. Inside this perimeter, they built a society entirely insulated from the outside world. They managed all property and land in common, guided by spiritual leaders known as instruments, who were believed to speak directly with the voice of God. To keep this religious utopia intact, the community required absolute equality among its members and total economic self-sufficiency. There was zero room for individual wealth or private enterprise. They enforced this equality through strict rules, the most extreme being the complete prohibition of cooking inside individual family homes. Instead of private kitchens, residents were assigned to eat at one of 55 massive communal kitchens. Men and women sat on wooden benches at separate tables, consuming standardized meals in absolute silence. Sustaining these kitchens and the surrounding farmland required grueling, highly specialized labor. Every man, woman, and child was assigned a specific daily job, treating hard physical work as a required form of spiritual devotion. The entire Amana lifestyle was engineered to strip away free time, individual choice, and any semblance of domestic convenience. By the early 1930s, this system hit a breaking point. The Great Depression devastated their agricultural income, and a series of catastrophic fires destroyed the community's primary flour and woolen mills, pushing the villages into dire financial condition. At the same time, a cultural fracture was forming. The younger generation began looking past the colony borders, asking for mail-order catalog items, access to commercial radio broadcasts, and the right to play baseball. In 1931, the Great Council faced the community with a harsh mathematical reality. Their utopia was effectively bankrupt. The residents voted to enact what they called the Great Change in 1932. They split their communal assets into a non-profit Amana Church Society for spiritual oversight and a for-profit joint stock company. Under this new society, pious communal laborers instantly became wage-earning shareholders, stabilizing the local economy by embracing capitalism. The pivot to monetization was immediate. In 1934, following the repeal of Prohibition, a community member named George Forstner recognized a sudden, lucrative demand for commercial beverage coolers. Using his own savings, Forstner started the Electrical Equipment Company. He repurposed the colony's damaged woolen mill and channeled generations of disciplined German craftsmanship into building refrigeration units. Renamed Amana Refrigeration, the business expanded rapidly through the 1940s, evolving from commercial upright freezers into mass-produced consumer models for the home. By the 1950s, Amana had fully pivoted from utilitarian agricultural equipment to vibrant consumer goods, specifically designed to match the atomic age aesthetics of the modern American housewife. The rigid, highly specialized labor system that once kept an isolated religious commune self-sufficient proved to be perfectly suited for the demands of a highly profitable, mass-production assembly line. In 1965, defense contractor Raytheon purchased Amana Refrigeration, creating a direct pipeline between military-grade technology and domestic home appliances. Raytheon had already invented microwave cooking technology, but their commercial Radarange was massive and prohibitively expensive. They acquired Amana specifically to use their manufacturing expertise to shrink the technology for home use. The result launched in 1967, the consumer Amana Radarange. It was the first popular, practical 115-volt microwave, meaning it could plug directly into a standard household electrical outlet, designed explicitly for the modern home kitchen. By cutting meal preparation time from hours to minutes, the Radarange drastically reduced the labor required to feed a family, establishing a new baseline for modern domestic convenience. The marketing materials of the 1960s showed smiling, independent housewives enjoying their newfound free time, a stark contrast to the silent, austere, gender-segregated dining halls established by the original Amana founders. The religious society that explicitly outlawed private kitchens and considered domestic convenience a sin engineered the defining convenience appliance of the modern private kitchen. To physically and financially preserve their spiritual community, the inspirationists ultimately had to mass produce and sell the exact domestic freedom they once swore to reject.